All right, guys, welcome back into another NBA DFS video. Going to be touching on the small 3-game slate on Tuesday. Typically speaking, I've been trying to do more live streams on this channel, but with it being a small 3-game slate and with it being a slate in which there's not that much injury news, it should be more of a straightforward slate as it sits right now. So I didn't want to put a short video live stream out there. I just didn't feel like that'd be useful. So if you guys enjoyed this quicker, easier video, make sure to let us know by leaving a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to any of the tools that you see in this video, links are in the description below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the injury news. So touching on it, really the biggest injury news that we have is going to be that Robinson Earl and Alexei are both still out. And that just means some of the OKC bigs are okay plays, but they have been spreading the minutes out between like all of them, between all their Williams pretty much. Kendrick, Jalen with a L-E-N, and then Jalen L-I-N, okay? They've been spreading the minutes out a lot. And really maybe power forward, small forward Jalen Williams is the route to go because he's been, consistently getting around 25 DK points, and maybe Kendrick Williams has an upside game, but like none of them are really like plays you need to go out of your way to play. So not that much slate impact and injury news as it sits right now. If Bradley Beal's out, currently questionable, then we would just be looking at Porzingis, Morris, Kuzma, a little bit okay. Drew Holiday and Giannis are both expected back as well. So we can see not that much slate impact and injury news. So with that, let's just go ahead and get into the values for this slate. So starting out with FanDuel, looking at the best FanDuel values, we can see Grayson Allen going to be a little bit cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. Typically, that's a good sign of a player being a good value. Projected to get 29 minutes. And with him, it's just, hey, is he going to be hot shooting the basketball? I don't mind chasing that upside on FanDuel. Kevin Huerter as well, kind of the same situation. A pretty good price point play. He is currently questionable. If he were to sit, probably looking at Harrison Barnes. But right now, Kevin Huerter, probably one of my favorite value price point plays on FanDuel. From there, Dort, a fine price point play. We are seeing that there's really no one too cheap. That's the issue that we're having on the slate, is that everyone's pretty much priced correctly. There's not that much value out there as a whole. So that's going to make this slate difficult. We are going to have to make builds based off of maybe floors of players, or maybe trying a game stack game. That is what this slate is looking like, because it doesn't look like we're going to get any obvious values given the fact that it's a small 3-game slate. So let's look ahead at DraftKings value. A little bit better, I guess, if you will. Al Horford, but I don't love him as a play, but price point wise, not terrible. Keegan Murray, once again, not terrible price point wise. Harrison Barnes, becomes a much better play on DraftKings if we get news that Huerter's out. Mike Conley, I do think, is a strong price point play on DraftKings. And then from there, just kind of more of the same. Gafford, I do like on DraftKings if he plays, currently questionable as well. So real quickly, let's just take a peek at Yahoo. Anyone popping up there? That shouldn't be. No, not really. OF Index. Let's check this out. See who's the starting points. And we can see pretty much priced correctly. This would suggest that we start with Drew and Morey kind of giving their prices, and then maybe like Beal if he's active. But we can see not that great. Okay. It's just one of those slates in which it's going to be more probably of a game theory slate where we're just trying to chase some games, making educated decisions that way. So let's go ahead and look at projected ownership. I'm actually very curious as to what the ownership's looking like on this slate, just given the nature of it kind of being unclear. Okay, so looking at it right now, people are going with Giannis on DraftKings. I'm fine with that. I will say with Drew Holiday back, his production is most likely going to drop, obviously, 80 DK points the last 2 games, but I'm probably more closer to 56 to 60 DK points from him. So I would say probably priced up a little bit too much than he should be. I would say let's dock off 400 points, but at the same time, a 3-game slate, we do want to be chasing some of that upside that's there. Jaylen Brown, some people are going with. I find this interesting. Jordan Clarkson and Josh Giddey. Those are 2 players that I really like, and Mike Conley. Okay, those are 2 players that feel like they're a little bit too underpriced, just given their recent production. Josh Giddey has been a solid 30 to almost 40 DK points per night, and I'm fine taking a guy that has a great floor like that. Same thing with Jordan Clarkson, but more towards 40 to 45 DK points, but also has a solid floor of around 30 DK points. And then Mike Conley just been more consistent as of recent. So that makes sense that people are really pulling in those players the most, and they are some of the most highest owned players. I don't know if I agree with Kelly Olynyk. People are really trying to chase that game is what that's showing me. And they think that Utah is the most underpriced team thus far on the slate, and just showing you guys that that is the game that you want to be attacking the most, the Kings versus Utah. And it's a game that isn't projected to be a blowout at all. So yeah, that's probably the game you want to attack the most, because Boston is potentially a game that could be a blowout, and the Bucks game is potentially a game that could be a blowout. So we get a game that has a high over and under, and a chance, and a game that's going to be close. You don't have to worry about the blowout. I mean, it's NBA DFS. That's always a risk, I guess, but it's part of it. Hachimura, I think, is a decent play given the price point. I thought he would be a little bit higher owned. Kuzma, this would probably double if Bradley Beal were ruled out. So just interesting stuff there. Let's go ahead and get into FanDuel. So FanDuel, the highest projected owned players are going to be more the Utah player. Okay, they are still pretty cheap there as well. Mike Conley, Beasley, Clarkson, Marcus Smart. That's interesting to me. Jaylen Brown a little bit cheaper there, I guess. Giannis, I don't know if we have to play him there. So what I find interesting is one of my personal favorite values, Trey Lyles, is not really popping up there. So let's go ahead and get into the lineup process, and I'll start with Trey Lyles. So this is a game that I already established we do want to be targeting. Trey Lyles is a decent price point play. Sure, the minutes haven't been elite recently, okay, around 20 minutes, but the production has been there. Given this price tag, given the nature of the slate, and given this game, I think he's a play that makes a lot of logical sense in the sense that it is a small 3-game slate. We don't have that many great plays. If he gets us 15 to, let's say, 26 DK points, that is huge. So the floor should be there as long as the minutes are there. And I want to point out as well, hasn't been shooting the ball well, and he's still been that productive. 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 1 for 6 in 3 out of his last 4 games. Obviously, that's not great. We need a better night shooting from him. But if we get that, like, he could really go off. So already a strong price point play. I think he's going to be someone I'm trying to end up. So we did see that Al Horford was one of the better values on DraftKings. I'm just going to go ahead and plug and play him. And then I also do agree with everyone kind of saying that, all right, we want to be attacking Utah because they are very cheap and it's just easy to make a lineup process work with them. So let's go ahead and do that. The question is, do we want to go Beasley? Do we want to go Marketing? I don't really know how I feel about them too much. Like Laurie, sure, he's starting to get up to a high price point. I think we could play him. And then on the Kings side, like we'd probably want to run it back with someone like Sabonis, who could easily go for 50 or so DK points given the matchup, but he is starting to get, priced up a little bit too high as well. That is concerning to me. Looking at someone like Keegan Murray, who is popping up as a good value, sure, minutes should be there. 3 out of his last 4 games, over 20 DK points, but just how elite of a play is he? I struggle with that. I do. So, very difficult play to me there. But Horford in the power forward spot. And like Fox as well. Fox feels like he's a little bit too high priced. I would rather go with like Drew Holiday, who should be in for a good game, and Josh Giddey, one of those players that was really popping up ownership wise as well. So I feel like he's a safe play. In a build like this, we don't have that much salary left over. Probably would have to rebuild. Okay, so where would we go from here? Well, I do think we are going to get some good value with maybe Jalen Williams, given the price point. I don't mind him. Denny is also someone that could be a very strong price point play. It's just been playing pretty well. I would rather play him than Malik Beasley. We've seen more recent upside and pretty much the same floor. So that's why I'm struggling there. And even Al Horford, I'd rather play Denny, I think, than him. But also we got Hachimura, who could easily go off and have a really good game. Those are 2 players for Washington that have had, really solid productive games. And if it's a blowout, their minutes should still be secure. Beal, Porzingis, and Kuzma, who see their minute dwindle away if they don't get that final rotation. So obviously this is the difficult part of the slate is it's tough to make a really elite build, if you will. I guess I would go off of Marketing in this situation, go with Denny, go with Hachimura, and then 7.6 left over, kind of a dead price point range. And so, yeah, the pricing was done really well, okay, because I wouldn't want to play Portis. I'd want to be able to fit Drew in there. Maybe we can go up to Giannis here. Let's see, 6K, yeah. This should work. You got Marcus Smart there who's popping up decently. Yeah, I don't mind that. That's not terrible. So, a little bit of a better build there. But we can see kind of just honestly, guys, this is probably a slate in which I would not really attacking it too much. And if you are, maybe do some game stacks. And I think that'd be the best approach. Maybe even more so than I already am. So let's go ahead and do a couple builds like that. And I'm just kind of going to blindly click Drew Holiday. If Beal is active, you can play him. If he's not, then you're looking at Kuzma. Then you're looking at Porzingis. We'll go Denny. We'll go Hachimura. We'll go Giannis. And then from there, obviously, you'd just be trying to get lucky, maybe with Grayson Allen, maybe with Kispert. And then, I don't know, you have 4.4 left over. Could go Kendrick Williams or something like that. Like, I feel like this is the approach that I'm probably going to go with more so is trying to stack games individually. And so let's go ahead and do the Kings Utah one real quick. So like this would be, Conley, Clarkson, Herter, Marketing, Sabonis. I don't know if we'll be able to make that work. And then from there, we're trying to get lucky with some kind of value price point plays. Maybe Beasley. I don't know if that'll work completely. You got Trey Lyles still, and then you're filling in with someone else that was popping. So not a terrible approach. If this game stays close, this should be a good build. If this game goes off like it's projected to, the data says these are the players that we want to be on, given that. So not a terrible build as well. But that's all for this video. Like I said, probably going to be a quicker video, and it was. So, it is what it is. Small 3-game slate, kind of a more straightforward slate. That's why I didn't do a live stream today. So hopefully we'll be back with that again soon. Just a reminder, if you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, links to those are in the description below, as well as the link to the Discord chat. All right, thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, guys, good luck.